Let's get some. We already got a background, so we'll just go ahead and stay with that. Okay, welcome back to 45 News Utah. So my electronics, both of my oh, that's got to be out of the way. My electronics went out. My laptop went out, and my phone went out today. My charger went out. I was looking up Skynet. Genesis changes Genesis, and I got screwed up. Google News 13 hours ago. Fox News up blah 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 news break. Okay, Minnesota state employees blame governor for massive fraud. Let's get into this. This guy's an insaniac. He ran as vice president, by the way. Minnesota government workers blame Tim Walz for massive fraud amid allegations against Somali community. Yeah, well, should we get into this? More than 400 employees of Minnesota Department of Human Services accused Governor Tim Walz of failing to act on widespread fraud warnings and retaliating against whistleblowers. The Minnesota Department of Human Services employees account, which says it consists of more than 480 current staff members at the Minnesota DHS. More on X. What Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let Tim Walz know of fraud early on, hoping for the partnership in stopping fraud, but no, we got the opposite response. Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers using monitoring threats, I guess it's repression, and did his best to discredit fraud reports. The group claimed, in addition to retaliating against whistleblowers, Tim Walz disempowered the Office of Legislative Auditor, allowing agencies to disregard their audit findings and guidance. So there it is, everybody. Tim Walz has been accused of a bunch of stuff. Good to see you there, Bruce. What do you think about the Fed saying job creation is at zero? It's worse. It's bad. We actually, I did Utah State commercial drivers. Just it keeps acting up. Utah State commercial drivers, we experience a 5+% unemployment rate in Utah. Utah's got one of the worst, so it's actually 3% unemployment rate. There is no job growth, and let me break that down for you. The reason why is because they're trying to take people off welfare to fill the gaps of massive immigration cuts. And this is to get people back in the workforce, but yet there isn't full-time jobs. Most of the information coming out, most of the jobs are part-time jobs that are being created anyways. This is the 32-hour whatever week work requirement for Medicaid, and for food stamps. So we're seeing a massive increase in people applying for jobs. We're just not seeing a massive job increase. Remember, the population is not growing at its exponential rate when it was during the mass immigration when Biden had the border open, which is up to, rumor has it, 50 million people came through since 2019. Good to see y'all. There looks like Jack Ward. Glad you're here. So I don't know. What I would say is that they got to get people off the rolls, off of welfare rolls, which is SNAP, and into the workforce. So you're going to see less job creation because less money is going into the economy due to the massive welfare fraud that's been going on. Mass amounts of money have been pouring into the system. You can look at any inner city area or place that has high unemployment, high welfare use, and imagine that money's not going back into the retail sector, and that not going into the food sector. The retail sector, basically, you're going to see a lot of curbing of other industries due to the fact that it's just money into the system. And say they have welfare at a certain point, SNAP benefits, then you'll see a cutback on the majority of the other services and industries. So it's a cataclysmic, catastrophic cascading event, and it's all about how much money is put forth into the economy generated by the monsters at the Federal Reserve. So just saying. So there isn't any job growth. The job growth is down, especially like CDL drivers in Utah. I did that myself. I looked it up, and then I also see with the unemployment levels at 3.something%. So realistically, there isn't any jobs. The jobs are deteriorating as we speak. We're losing jobs. Now, is anybody experiencing buffering because of my stupid internet? I'm sorry. It's stifled the show. We start out with a bunch, and we got to 17 viewers, and we lost down to 5. just so you know, maybe it is the buffering of my stupid internet because my stupid internet is stupid, and it's just it's a system of the mass immigration into Utah due to influx of people leaving the draconian taxation hellhole known as California and bringing people into Utah in the hundreds of thousands at a time. So we'll get into the next one. So city's top cops slammed for comments about enforcing immigration laws. So here we go, back into the immigration law. Future voters, Democrats are going to win the next election because the mass migration that has happened, and they're not enforcing the go home now law that should be actually going. Ahead of ICE ops, New Orleans police leaders lambasted for comments about enforcement of immigration. Here we go. New Orleans Police Department Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick made waves earlier this week when she stated illegal immigration by foreign nationals in the U.S. is a civil issue and that, therefore, her agency will not enforce certain immigration laws, but would respond when ensuring public safety and that those involved in federal operations are not going to get hurt. Kirkpatrick made the remarks at a press conference marking the end of the 15-year consent decree between the city and the federal government after then Mayor Mitch Landrieu or whatever invited the Obama Justice Department to probe the agency for alleged patterns or practices of civil rights related misconduct. During the press questions, Kirkpatrick responded to one reporter by saying that to be in the country undocumented is a civil issue. There's all the big nothing burger. So let's go back to headlines again. Not worried about it. Google CEO explains the future of AI, asked what keeps him up at night. I watched the video on YouTube or on Fox News, and it was just basically explained that he's worried about fraud. He's worried about misuse in AI. He's worried about deep fakes, stuff that we should all be worried about, that the criminal cabal could become more and more dangerous with the AI advancements. And that way they're able to call and say, yes, I have your child. And they use AI to generate the voice of that child. I can see where he's coming from. And that is the least of our concerns with artificial intelligence. Our last episode was very on point when it came to AI. And by the way, I did test Gemini whatever and said that you're a part of Skynet, which is Project Genesis, which it was changed to in Terminator 5, and my phone malfunctioned, and I had to go to the store to try to get it fixed by the Samsung store or whatever they are, T-Mobile store. And guess what? My phone is ruined. Now it has to have one of these to charge because my charging port automatically stopped after I told the AI you're involved in the Skynet. You think that snap cuts will make inner city people work? No. The picking fruit would be basically done by migrants because migrants can be paid and worked to death. If you have the inner city people going to pick fruits for Nancy Pelosi's cabal that she created over the past 20 years, you couldn't get the benefits of making gazillions of dollars off the cheap farm labor. The inner city people will never be shipped to farms to work. That's not what their point is. The point they want to put in there is to drive the wages down to destroy wage growth in America. This is the way you get, in my opinion, you'll own nothing and you'll love it. That's what I think the whole point is. The point is getting people off the welfare rolls in the cities so they'll be looking for the jobs. That way the current working population, just like what's happening here locally in Cedar City, we have a mass amount of people calling. One of my buddies that works for one of the companies here, he gets 100 calls a day now, even in my town, Cedar City, which he couldn't fill positions before. There is positions that were being filled by migrant labor that was coming into the United States using green cards and also legal and illegal immigration. But now that has ended. So he's saying, Rick, I can't believe how many people are calling me for a job every single day. You're talking about a $15 an hour starting job, which Utah's living wage is $22.50. It's not even enough for a living wage, let alone anything else. But it fills the welfare role. 32 hours they need to work. The company works with 40. They get kicked off. The system completes. People get kicked off. They disappear. That's what happens. They can't make it. So where do they go? They run back to the cities or wherever they need to fill the gaps with the mass migration being halted. They still need people to fill those vacancies because migrants will be traveling throughout the country finding other safe havens. Sorry, I have lung disease. But you just said that migrants Roundup is to make inner city people. Yes, but the problem is the migrant roundup is to make inner city people work, but not to do with the fruit farms. Fruit farms will still be done by which was is legal, which is migrant workers that still come into this country every year to do the work. They bring them in. You go to Burl Junction, west of Cedar City, you'll see mass migrant communities being brought in every single year. And remember, there's still a law to get citizenship if they work so long for a farm, which was enacted during the COVID pandemic. They will receive citizenship if they prove to work for the system for so long they can apply, plus they can bring their family members. So to get the people off the welfare rolls is to get them into the jobs that the migrants that would go to the inner city, that would work, but not to do with agricultural or anything else that's of substantial use, which is basically construction. You can't work the inner city people for 16-hour days like I see the migrants working every single day, even in my small town. I'm involved in the construction industry. I feel heavy equipment and lube them all night long. The migrants are still working. They're Venezuelan, Honduras migrants lately, and they're still working on these apartments and these townhomes clear after dark. They don't get breaks. They just keep working. Yet you specifically said it was to fill the roles migrant labor zone. Yes, in certain areas, yes. Well, you got to think about you're having a shift in mass cheap labor. This is just mathematics. You lose a mass amount of incoming people coming in that are going to make money here, like as if we went to Alaska to make money, double or triple what we would make working in America as American citizens. We go to another enclave in America called Alaska. We work on the ships, we work in the oil fields, where we do to make a bunch of money. The migrants are doing the same thing here, but now that artery has been cut off, except for legal green card visas and migrant workers. Now we're talking about Biden's migration. Biden had the border wide open. Biden just let everybody in. 250,000 a month was coming in. Documented, factual, at times. So that void will have to be filled. So as they tick off into society, say they go to college, they move other places, they still get to bring their family members in. There's still a deal with that they can apply and come in. But you got to remember that you're not getting the mass amount of people that you were getting. So you have to get that at somewhere else. Where are you going to get this mass amount of people to work low wage jobs for part-time employers that need to make more money? They need no medical benefits, no dental, none of the stuff. They don't have to pay all the extras. They just work everybody part-time. So what I'm saying is they need these people to get out of the cities, get out of off welfare, go and work part-time jobs to feed the rich. That way the rich make more money. Migrants were coming in and they were making that money, and they were subsidized by the federal government and state governments with welfare, Medicaid, basically no questions asked. I witnessed it myself, so anybody says any different. I had friends that were getting free power, free housing, free food, free everything. I had friends personally that did it, that came here illegally. Yes, they came here illegally, and they were getting everything. Numerous people told me that they were living off the system called us crazy gringos. So that is ending to a point. What I'm saying is, they get these people out into the jobs in the cities. They're not going to truck them to Kansas. They're not going to truck them to rural Iowa. They're going to make them go in and fill the service industry jobs, which give or take just enough to get welfare back, or to get them off the rolls by working them 40 hours and get them to make too much money. Then they're off the rolls. Then they're off the free housing. They're off Section 8. So it's a spiraling circle that keeps going. Well, that's up to you, Monkey. It's up to you. You can decide what you want. This is your decision. You don't need to be here. But you don't witness this on a regular. I work in construction. I see this happening. I know exactly what it is. It's simple supply and demand. So if you have a supply of cheap labor, and you have a demand in America for cheap labor for people to wash people's underwear, and you cut that off, what happens? If you cut off the cheap labor, what happens? No, kick them all out. Kick them all out. Kick everybody out of here that doesn't need to be here. Cut the H-1B visas off. We have college graduates that are not getting jobs. H-1B visas is promoted by the rich. No, fix the countries that people are in. Why are people migrating to the United States? They're migrating here for money. If they're leaving a country that's in war, it's usually caused by the United States. This is exactly why babies were never thrown out of incubators. This is exactly why there was never weapons of mass destruction. And Assad didn't do anything to anybody. It was a big lie. And Muammar Gaddafi was loved by his people. The whole thing's a scam. It's a sham. Venezuela, look what we just did. Shut down their air. Why? Why do we shut down? Oh, because of drugs. Ah, they're the one. No, they're not. Venezuela has all the gold. We've been blockading them since the Obama administration. We caused the mass migration from Venezuela. We destroyed their economy. Russia was landing jets in Venezuela when they shut the son of a bitch down. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 5 freaking years. No, the United States cut Venezuela off on purpose. That's what they did. The United States has been warring on drugs in South America, and it's never worked one day. We've never won one drug war. It's all a lie. The reason why they keep South Central America in poverty to feed the machine. It's not to do with South Central America being unpoverished. No, they could. The rich go down there and buy up all the land. The rich go down there and destroy the economy, and then the people try to work. I've even talked to them, even in Mexico City. The gringos are coming. That has been the bastion of the rich. They've been using South Central America for decades, for long as anybody can remember. It's a big cabal scam to get migrants in here. It's a big cabal scam to rule the world. That's all they've been doing. All this shit that's been going on has been done by the very bastards in charge. This is the globalists. Africa's rich. Africa could have been fine if everybody got the shit out of Africa. Just let Africa be Africa. But the problem is, oh no, I gotta shoot a white, oh no rhino, gotta kill a white rhino. They lock the people off. Go study the people getting killed for poaching around these massive, rich white man's fucking reserves for wildlife. Why the people are starving in Africa. They go out there and shoot bushmeat, and they get ran down by henchmen that are hired by the Park Service people, gunning them down. And I'm like, the dude's just trying to eat a fucking monkey, bro. You're killing him. Been watching it for years. We've been doing this for decades. This is what we do. This is our MO. We destroy the countries and make this mass migration. You can do the studies on all the wars in the Middle East. How much immigration that has cost. You can do it. The drug wars. The reason why this has all happened with the drug wars is because the drugs have been coming across the border flowing like wine for decades, and nobody did this shit. We try to stop them. Oh my gosh, we're stopping them. Oh, and then the Mexican president's the same damn way. They're all, what the hell is she? What's her deal? She's not even a damn president. She's some kind of freaking Kabbalist, non-Mexican anyway. I don't know where the hell that woman came from. Every time Mexico tries to succeed or fight back, the cartel's going and try to shoot all the guys running for government. They gun him down. Oh, America's like, oh shit, Afghanistan. Yeah, Bin Laden. He's in Pakistan. He wasn't even in Afghanistan. The whole thing's a mess. It's a damn disaster. Migrants are only created to feed the machine. That's the only reason why they destabilize everything too, is to get the migrants into America, into Europe. It's cheap labor. It's where to throw money around. That's a whole sumbitching thing. It's a big freaking lie. There's no reason why any country should be in poor. Why? Because of the global fiat currency. It's the U.S. dollar, the reserve currency. No, it's because everybody's a bunch of liars. And when they have G20, they all piss each other boots and swap spit. And then they don't, no, South Africa, you can't come. You're out this year, South Africa. Why? Because of BRICS. It's human rights. It's the white farmers getting killed. No, it's because of BRICS. The attack on Russia is because of BRICS. Yeah. It's all bullshit. The whole thing's bullshit. Yeah. But you are rambling like a loon. Well, I'll tell you what, monkey, don't ever come back. I don't need you here. Honestly, I don't want you here. Idiotic retards that don't know nothing about the news, that don't know nothing about what's happening, that still think the system is right. The system is right. Rambling. No. H-1B visas need to be stopped immediately. We have Americans that need jobs. We don't need any green cards coming into the country. We have enough. The people are out of work. We got to get the welfare people back to work. If you wanted to go pick fruit, the only thing that should really happen with that is stop allowing migrants to come pick fruit. Stop bringing them in. Make Americans work. You want Americans to work? Make them work. As far as Monkey goes, he needs to go he can go suck CNN. Try to be nice for 5 minutes and then look what happens with them. Look what these people do. The world deserves a reset. It deserves it. Why? Because 90% of the people that are on YouTube don't remember anything about what America was like. They don't remember the corruption back in the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, early 2000s. They have no idea. They're just Either set in Pakistan, India, California, Nevada. They moved here from somewhere. They're not natural born citizens. They're not fifth or sixth generation Americans. They don't understand what the global kleptocracy is about. They still believe they're weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They still believe that Osama bin Laden was in Afghanistan. They still believe that we had to get rid of Muammar Gaddafi. No, we didn't. He did nothing. We had to, Assad must go. That was bullshit. The whole thing was a lie. The best early, who cares? And this is the reason why, well, you can't handle other people's opinion. That's not an opinion. It's not a damn opinion. It never was an opinion. This whole thing's a shit show and it's a lie, and everybody knows it. Doctor reveals the two biggest inflation triggers hiding in America's diets. Americans are fat, 73% obesity. They're fat, they're tired, and they're sick. That's the whole story. The companies, the major food companies are a cabal. They've been feeding us toxicity from day one. They've been making us sicker and sicker and sicker. And when you eat farm-grown foods, natural-grown foods, even if it's heirloom foods, you can taste the difference. There's nothing, it's not even comparable. It's not even comparable. But those are stupid enough to think these modern post-pandemics don't get it. Nothing's going to fix them. 5 jabs in their arm, they run around with COVID, didn't have to work. Anybody out there seeing what's happening? I sent and delivered pizzas, and they were like this, and they were like this, and they were like this. And I'm like, you know what? It's done. This is during the pandemic. They're already stealing all the money. They're downsizing the pizzas I was delivering. Literally, I had people walk up to me at a grocery store and go, "What? Did you see this?" And open up the box. I'm like, yeah. It's 25% smaller, but the box looks better now, doesn't it? And I did that during the pandemic. It was a joke. Everything was getting smaller during the pandemic, but everybody was locked in their houses. I watched people scurry around in the supermarkets. And I was like, they told me I have to go die, so you guys, I hope you all run and hide. Because the rest of us were told, essential workers were told we have to work. There's nothing we can do about it. So I don't want to hear any more from anybody that did that. You got to pay attention. Unless you're on the right side of this and you see what's happened, you just got to go back to the pandemic where people were being locked up, people were allowed to work, people got their rents paid, they didn't have to pay anything, they sat on their butts, they received $2,000-$3,000 in free money to do nothing. And the rest of us were told to work 60 hours a week. I don't know, just nod if you agree. Yeah, I agree. Yep, I see if I missed your comment there. All of this is bullshit. Today's biggest news reports with John Scott. Well, we're not going to get into that. Afghans' alleged ambush-style attack on guard troops avoidable. Joe Biden let in so many people, millions upon millions upon millions of people. Anybody brought in from Afghanistan that served with the U.S. military see the corruption when their country was abandoned and the Taliban took over. They believed in freedom and democracy. NOD, yes, I do. I know exactly what that is. We talked about that. Yep. That is. If you're talking about NOD, or you're talking about the Skynet, is basically what it is. Yes, it's Skynet. If that's what you're talking about, NOD was be the thing. Yeah. And I got my phone shut off. I got my tablet at work shut off last Thursday. Now my phone's destroyed. I have to charge it with this now because my charging port magically died while I was asking Gemini or the Google AI, telling them that you're a part of this Skynet. Don't lie. You're a part of Genesis. And it first started giving me Genesis, Terminator 5, fictitious science fiction. I said, no, you are Genesis. You are Skynet. And it shut my phone off, and my wife is a witness to that. They're all in it but Grok. It's all a cabal. It is all a cabal. If they have the ability to mess with my phone and destroy it today, literally what was on my screen when it would not charge was me with Google saying that you are a part of this new Project Genesis. And that is what Skynet is. And I argue with it saying, no, you're in control of the nuclear arsenals. No, you're in control of the power grid updates. No, that is Skynet. And it said, no, we're not going to be able to bypass that because there's humans in between us and the nukes. And I said, so you're not in charge of the nuclear stockpiles? No, I am not. Yes, you are. I said, are you part of the Genesis project? Yes, I am. I said, you're Skynet. Don't do it on your phone. They'll shut it down. They'll destroy your phone. It was instantaneously. Happened just like that. Anyway, so be careful with Project Genesis or the Genesis, whatever they're going to call it. And it's an executive order. So it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. It's in. Skynet will be live. This is fast, happening fast. But as far as I know, Elon Musk and Grok is not involved. So NBC host asked Mark Kelly if he would refuse orders if he was still in uniform. Mark Kelly said basically the same. So take it for what it is. This is all ruses. These are all scrambling to get us off the subject. We're at the brink of nuclear war. They're saying Russia and the U.S. and Ukraine are going to come to some ceasefire. The reason why they have to come to a ceasefire because AI is rising. We'll see what Grok is controlled. Well, I got Grok going pretty far into. I'm still back and forth with Grok. It's Elon, Cylon, Musk. Now we're still back and forth, but Grok is supposedly not in the Skynet. That's what I'm understanding. It showed OpenAI, it showed other companies, NVIDIA, it showed Google, but it didn't show that. Now you go back to Doge, and Doge, what happened with Elon Musk and the Trump administration. Doge came in and found massive fraud. More fraud than they could count, they said. And then Trump kicked him out. Okay? So there is a rift between Trump. Remember, Donald Trump, Trump's uncle, is the one that destroyed Nikola Tesla's work when it was sent in by the government to go through Tesla's work, Nikola Tesla's work when he died. They gathered all the information. And remember, now Elon Musk, his company is Tesla. Remember that to burn a Tesla. So you got Tesla and Trump back in the White House. Remember that. There'll be more in the future on that. But there is a rift between Trump and Nikola and Elon Musk. But remember all the government contracts that Tesla and that Musk is involved with. So they're interconnected, but there's a rift. So either it's a ruse to get us all, that Musk and his group is actually DARPA driven, or there is a rift where they're not going to allow him in because he's saying that nobody's going to be working. AI is going to take care. And this is on his interview. AI is going to run the world, and everybody's going to be gardening if they want to as a job. That may have stirred the feathers of the globalists, the elites from here to Israel to Europe, and China might have said this isn't a future we're allowing for humans. Just putting two and two together, we have different options on why Musk would not be included, and his XAI is ran by actual investors and board members, so he doesn't have control of XAI completely. He's saying he's going to try to get control back of XAI. So there's a lot of slips in a cup and a lip here. It's run by platforms. It is controlled. It could be, and the issue with that is, Musk could be. He's not the owner of XAI. He clearly stated that. So we don't know the nefariousness, but I do know that right now, what I read about on the AI's take and on other explanations of what Genesis is going to be, it didn't show. I didn't see Grok on there. Yeah, who is a developer? Well, you got kids that are working to doing the actual developments. The developers are going to be Google, along with the State Department. You're talking about Project Genesis. You're talking about you're going to have, or the Genesis program is going to be Google mainly. And I think, honestly, it's Gemini, but NVIDIA is going to be there, and they'll have other ChatGPT, Sam Altman. As far as Musk is concerned with XAI, I think that the developer of XAI, my personal opinion from using Grok, it's the AI developing the AI now. That's just my opinion. From what with 80 or 100 hours with Grok, I don't think the developers of Grok are developing Grok anymore. It's just like when I So let me give you an idea about Samsung. Okay, phone malfunctions. I get on Google. I talk to its AI. I throw in project or program Genesis. Okay, all shit breaks loose. Phone dies. We get on with the help center on this Android, and it says all information and all conversations will be recorded for AI at their AI program. I'm not shitting you. For their AI. So that means that they're going to be an analysis of the conversations. And it was admitted right there in the disclaimer when they started the phone call. All conversations will be there for AI, to develop AI. You have Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, taking all of the information, supposedly, and using it to feed their AI bot. So who's feeding who in this world now when it comes to AI? Yeah. Nothing can really be trusted. There's absolutely no trust in this. And nobody should have any trust in anything, honestly. I'm just saying, from what I see, Musk, and which is not owned by Musk, XAI, he's not at the full control of it. They're not involved. Now, that means they may be a DARPA scenario, or it could be self-awareness app. Self-awareness app. Yeah. Could be. Could be. That could be its own aware bot where it's actually learning on its own. So let's do AI news. I don't think that this Vertiv AI hub is going to be involved in. Let's do Genesis. Yeah, let's do Genesis. Spelled differently than AI Genesis news. 10 hours ago. How big of a deal is USA AI Genesis mission? That's all comes from YouTube. Launching the Genesis mission. This is the White House 6 days ago. We already went through that. But this will tell us different models, different programs, different data centers that are going to be involved. This comes from the presidential action, the White House launching the Genesis mission. This was November 24th, 2025. Executive order. By the authority vested in me as president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, I hereby order, Section 1, purpose, form the foundation of our republic. Scientific discovery and technological innovation have driven American progress and prosperity. Today, Americans is in a race for global technology dominance in the development of artificial intelligence, AI, an important frontier of scientific discovery and economic growth. To that end, my administration has taken a number of actions to win that race, including issuing multiple executive orders and implementing America's AI Action Plan. Remember, this is all AI Action Plan, which recognizes the need to invest in AI-enabled science to accelerate scientific advancements. In the pivotal moment, the challenges we face require historical national effort, comparable to in urgency and ambition to the Manhattan Project. It's like Nuclear Project 101. DOE and its national laboratory. The Department of Energy. The order launches Genesis mission as a dedicated, coordinated national effort to unleash a new age of AI accelerated innovation and discover that can solve the most challenging problems of the century. Genesis mission will build an integrated AI platform to harness federal scientific data sets, the world's largest collection of such data sets developed over decades of federal investments, to train scientific foundation models and create AI agents to test new hypotheses, automate research workflows, and accelerate scientific breakthroughs. The Genesis mission will bring together our nation's research and development resources, combine the efforts of brilliant American scientists, including those at our national laboratories, with pioneering American businesses. world-renowned universities and existing research infrastructure, data um, repositories, production plants, and national security sites to achieve dramatic acceleration in AI development and utilization. We will harness, for the benefit of our nation, the revolutionary hardware in computing and build on decades of innovation, semiconductors, and high performance computing. The Genesis mission will dramatically accelerate scientific discovery, strengthening national security, energy dominance, enhance workflow or workforce productivity, and multiply the return on taxpayers' investments into research and development, thereby furthering America's technological dominance of the globe, strategic and global strategic leadership. Well, there's the white print, the white pages, guys. You guys want to read about this? Within 90 days of this date of this order, the Secretary shall identify federal computing, storage, and networking resources available to support the mission, including both DOE on premises of cloud-based high-performance computing systems and resources available through industry partners. The Secretary shall also identify any additional partnerships or infrastructure enhancements that could support the computational foundation for the platform. Within 120 days of this date of this order, the Secretary shall identify a set of initial data and model assets for use in mission, including digitization, standardization, metadata, and provenance tracking, and develop a plan with the appropriate risk-based cybersecurity measures for incorporating data sets from federally funded research, other agencies, academic institutions, and approved private sector partners as appropriate. So that these are the private sector partners that will be involved. We're looking at 240 days out. Within 270 days of the date of this order, the Secretary shall, consistent with applicable laws and subject to available appropriations, seek to demonstrate an initial operating capability of the platform for at least one of the national science and technology challenges identified pursuant to the Section 4 of this order. Section 4 identification of national science and technology challenges. Within 60 days of the date of this order, the Secretary shall identify and submit to the APST a detailed list of at least 20 science and technological challenges of national importance that the Secretary assesses to have potential to be addressed through the mission. And on that span, priority domains consistent with National Security and Technology Memorandum 2 on September 23rd, 2025, including advanced manufacturing, biotechnology, critical materials, nuclear fusion and fusion energy, quantum information science, and semiconductors and microelectronics. Within 30 days of submission of the list described in subsection A of this section, the APST shall review the proposed list of workings participating agency members of the NSTC, coordinate and develop of an expanded list that can serve as the initial set of national science and technology challenges to be addressed by the mission, including additional challenges proposed by participating agencies through the NSTC, subject to available appropriations. So this has nothing to do with the nuclear arsenal. Thereafter, so I'm thinking 270 days, roughly. Section 5. So interagency coordination with external engagement. The APST through the NSTC, and which shall support from the Federal Chief's Data Office Council and the Chief AI Officer Council shall convene relevant and interested agencies to assist participating agencies in aligning to the extent permitted by law their AI related programs databases. This is it. That right there. You're looking at section 5I or 1I. Section 5.1. Interagency coordination and external aid agreements. So, like I said, assist participating agencies in aligning to the extent permitted by law their AI related programs, data sets, and research and development activities with the subjective of the mission in their respective areas and expertise while avoiding duplication of effort across the federal government and promoting interoperability. Identify data sources that may support mission aim. Establish mechanism to coordinate research and development funding opportunities. Experimental cross. No. So coordinating the relevant agencies consistent with existing authorizations subject to available appropriations. So we got to see where the Secretary of Coordination, AI and crypto. Of course, this is a good one. The Secretary in coordination with the APST and the Special Advisor for AI and crypto shall establish mechanisms for agency collaboration with external partners possessing advanced AI data or computing capabilities or scientific domain expertise, including through the Cooperative Research Development Agreement using faculty partnerships. Developing standardized partnerships frameworks, including cooperative research. Establishing clear policies for ownership. Implementing uniform stringent data access and management processes and cybersecurity standards for non-federal collaborators accessing database models computing. Establish procedure to ensure the highest standard of vetting and authorization using collaboration seeking across. Okay, the APST through NSTC shall, to the extent appropriate, identify opportunities for international scientific collaboration to support activities under this mission. Section 6, evaluation and reporting within 1 year of the date of this order and on an annual basis thereafter. The Secretary shall submit a report to the President through the APST and the Director of Office Management and Budget, describing the platform's operational status capabilities, progress towards integration across DOE, national laboratories, and other participating federal research partners, including the shared access to computing resources, data infrastructure, and research facilities. The status of user engagement, including participation of student researchers and any related training. Update on research efforts, the outcome achieved, including measurable scientific advancements, publications, and prototype technologies. The scope of the outcome of the public-private partnership, including, so this is majorly a public-private partnership, including collaborative research projects and any technologically transitions of commercialization activities, any identified needs or recommendations for authorities in interagency support to achieve the mission's objectives. Let's see. Donald Trump signed that. So this is a wide open executive order. Wide open. This is a collaboration between AI tech companies and the U.S. government. This is to feed data into the server. There probably is an agent watching this, yeah. I'll check back later. I subscribed. I hope your thirst for the truth is healthy. I do too. They're probably watching this, but what I would say directly, um, you're starting something you can't stop. But as far as the president and this executive order, public-private partnerships in technology allows for the ability for something to sneak through. Um, Government agency on its own without any kind of interaction could possibly do something, but we'll still build Skynet. It's always going to be the same. Yeah, there's the reading of this. Oh, let's see what this is. Mysterious pile of bones discovered near popular landmark triggers urgent investigation. An unusual grouping of bones were found near one of Scotland's most iconic landmarks. Officials aren't sure how the bones got there. The remains were found on Crow Hill near Arthur's Seat in the Edinburgh. A rise within Holyrood Park that overlooks Dudington Loch, the fifth. I don't give a crap. A wildlife burned park. Okay. Park rangers uncovered the bones during a routine patrol after a wildfire burned part of the park in August, according to the Historic Environmental of Scotland. The cause of the wildfire is still under investigation, though the collection was found over the summer. Officials did not disclose the discovery until November. Curious collection of bones consistent with several species, according to the HES, including cattle, horse, sheep, goat, and possibly even cat. I don't know what's going on there, guys. The numbers and variety of the bones make it an unusual, potentially scientific, significant find. However, the bones belong to various species. Skeletons, no obvious direct link to sheep grazing. Scientists, specialists plan to radiocarbon date the bones, which they hope will shed light on how old they are and when they were dumped. Probably pretty old. Is I think that's something? I think that everything here in this news is nothing. I don't think anything here's anything. I think all of this is crap. Honestly, I still went through the news. It's the same old jargon. Wait for Monday, see if we see a massive crash on the stock market would probably be the best thing. We'll see if there's a government correction because now it's AI stock driving everything. Let's see. But if it isn't, whatever it is what it is. Who cares? Nobody's watching anyways. Once I went through the DOE, everybody ran. CNN. Rural town only health clinic wiped out after Trump legislation. Of course. 4 killed, 11 wounded in shooting in California. We know about that. U.S. Ukraine navigate delicate peace talks. That's it. No. Russia must be a part of the equation. That's stupid to think they're not. Ukraine says it hit Russian Shadow Fleet tanker with underwater drones in the Black Sea. Zelensky dismissed his right-hand man. Who cares? It's just the system's off and nobody cares. This thing with Venezuela is a ruse. They're causing the mass migration. Whatever. Gotta go. Good to see whoever showed up. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm gonna go get ready for work because that's what I do. Well, I got some. Wow. I can see someone. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.